we go.
Yeah.
Get ready for round 5 of YCS Anaheim.
So, Yosenjus, what are they really trying to do? They're normally a very trap-centric strategy, right? But is there any key thing, you know, maybe I'm not too familiar with Yosenjus. What can you tell me about them?
All right, well, basically Yosenjus, you have Yosenju, 1, 2, and 3, and they all have an ability to let you normal summon another Yosenju with their own when you summon one.
Yeah.
So you basically, you summon a bunch. You want to summon 4 Yosenju, Yosenju 1, 2, 3, and the Sujik. And they all, at the end phase of the turn they were normal summon, return to your hand.
Okay.
So they're able to summon all the monsters out of their hand, set all the trap cards they draw, then activate a card of Demise, and draw until they have 3 cards in their hand. And since the deck doesn't rely on special summoning or anything, that restriction doesn't slow them down
so they get
whatsoever.
to play big payoff cards like Card Demise and Pod Duality. And even though Card Demise would normally make them discard their cards, they can make it so they discard before the monsters bounce back to their hand, so they really get around any drawback that Card Demise has. So they basically get a card that's better than Pot of Greed most of the time.
Exactly. Yep. They can resolve the card of Demise, discard their hand when it is nothing, and then return all their monsters to your hand. And so they work similar to an old card, Wind Up Rabbit. It has the quick effect to banish itself. So they're very good at dodging certain cards like Regeki, Dark Hole.
Yeah. So, it seems like that the Yosenju deck is more of a disruption strategy and tries to get in little pieces of chip damage here and there, right? And you can't really ever deal with their monsters because there's somewhere you can't really deal with, which is the hand.
Exactly. Yep. All right, well, they're underway. Let's see who's starting. The die roll is very big.
Yeah, I believe the Blue Eyes Duelist won the roll. A 6 to a 2. Fortunate. Got a solid hand. At least Alternative Dragon Shrine, it looks like. Maybe a Chaos form and a Blue Eyes Chaos Max. I'm not sure what that middle field spell card is, but we'll see.
It might be.
It also might be Advanced Ritual Arts, but I think it might be Chaos Max or Chaos form.
I do not know.
Yeah, we will find out shortly, I'm sure.
Oh, the Blue Eyes player also main decks 1 copy of Swords of Concealing Light. The card's very good right now. It, it turns off cards like Magic Spectre Kirin. Putting it face down is one of the only ways to stop that card.
Same thing with
Malphite's
Alchemist, right?
Same thing with Malphite's. Since Kirin can't be destroyed by card effects or targeted, you have to use cards that don't target and will somehow remove it from the field or put it face down not to be able to use its effect.
You included Book of Eclipse in your tech update earlier, so it's just very similar to that, right? Just sort of a different take on that effect of just flipping everything face down.
Yep. Because it also, as long as the Swords of Concealing Light's on the field for the next 2 standby phases,
right? Yeah, that's the big difference. It locks them down. But in that, you sort of get the payoff of that while you also get the drawback that's vulnerable to cards like Mystical Space Typhoon and things destroying, whereas Book of Eclipse they can't really respond that well to with just simple spell and trap card destruction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, you lost connection as well.
Still waiting.
Do you have a favorite Yosenju out of the commas?
I would have to go with Yosenju, 1. I feel like he gets the most work done being able to bounce a monster to the opponent's hand, or I think it's any monster on the field, as long as you control another Yosenju. He's the useful monster removal.
No, he seems like he would be really important in a sort of tempo trap disruption strategy that Yosenju is, where they're just really trying to get in, hits of damage. Make sure you can't do anything too powerful with your monsters with all my trap cards, and then just getting some more damage. Having a reoccurring way to just bounce away a threat seems very powerful, so I can agree with that.
Yep, and a lot of you see the Yosenju player main decks 3 copies of Drowning Mirror Force. Drowning Mirror Force requires a direct attack, but then shuffles back all the attack position monsters from your opponent's side of the field. Since Yosenju's all return to the hand, Drowning Mirror Force, you could utilize it very well because you will never have any monster on the field to be attacked.
So it's another big payoff card like Card of Demise that Yosenju gets to utilize, maybe a bit better than most other decks do. I like that. It's very good. Yeah. Also interesting choice. We also see Dark Bribe in Hughes' deck. How good do you think Dark Bribe is compared to a card like Starlight Road? This format.
When you're playing a deck like this, you need something that has the ability to stop Twin Twister. So I can understand Dark Bribe, and you're comparing it to Starlight Road. But at the same time, not all decks do play Twin Twister, so the Dark Bribe will still be useful against the other decks, but at the cost of giving your opponent another card.
Okay, so you have a Dark Bribe set, right? Your opponent activates a Union Hanger. Do you snap it off every time?
I think you do.
Yeah, Union Hanger is so high impact that it's a big deal.
And once the Union Hanger resolves, chances are they'll be summoning an ABC Dragon Buster, and that Dark Bribe will not be doing much to stop that.
I can understand that. Do you think you Dark Bribe Full Malphos Fusion? Is that another big one?
Full Malphos Fusion?
Yeah.
Dark Bribing Malphos Fusion is not so great, but if you're able to have it set, and then during your turn, a lot of Metalfoes don't play too many trap cards. They rely on using full Metalfoe Fusion to fuse for full Metalfoes Alkahist. And then if you're able to Dark Bribe it, that could be their one trap they have, and then the game's over because they can't stop anything that you're doing. Oh, we're still waiting. Roger Flores. This other word is just... Yeah, we have Roger Flores playing the Blue Eyes.
Yep, against Ryan Hughes, dealing with Yosenju. I'm excited to see the Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon deck. It seems really, really cool.
I've lost to it very recently in some of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Adventures in tournament. I was not aware of how powerful that card was until it was summoned on me multiple times.
Yeah. I mean, when I see a card like that, I really just want to start comboing with like Geometrio and just doing the most silly thing I can, right? Because it seems like a silly card on the surface. But in actuality, when you really did, it has a lot of attack, can't really be affected by much, and just has this additional huge damage upside at 4,000 attack.
It is
crazy.
Huge. Yeah, you cannot put your monsters in defense mode against this guy. Yeah, the two cards right now we have that double piercing effect, Metalphos Orichalc and Blue Eyes Chaos Max, is one of the most impactful effects they've added to cards. People completely overlooked. The damage just gets outrageous. If it's 1,000 to 2,000, but then if it's 2,000, that's 4,000. It's an exponential increase.
I can understand why Swords of Concealing Light is especially good in Flores' deck, because it gives you a way to put their monsters to defense, right? And unlike Book of Eclipse that hits the whole entire field, you can Swords of Concealing Light just their side, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yep. And there's a lot of monsters out there with 0 defense, such as full Metalphos Alchemist. If you were to fuse for that and then get Swords of Concealing Light and attacked with a Chaos Max, that's 8,000 points of damage.
Yeah, I could see cards like that, or even like enemy control or something. Anything that has the ability to switch on the defense while giving you another type of effect at the same time. Yep, could be strong.
Indeed.
Okay, so we're not gonna.
I'm still waiting. Maybe looks like they're about to get things underway.
Yeah, it looks like we're resolving the card hand shower text issue.
Just play the game as normal.
Sometimes you got technical issues and you just gotta wade through them.
Play cards properly.
Standby phase, entering in phase.
All right, so it looks like
Yosenju started.
Yep, Pod Duality for Card and Demise. That looks like a good one.
I would be surprised if he took anything else.
Yeah. I was talking to you, Jerome, earlier. I really miss playing with Pod Duality. I feel like that card used to just be so solid, and now it's not the same, man.
The game has sped up quite a bit. So yeah, being able to take any card off the top of your deck sort of used to be very solid, but now, and except in a deck like Yosenju's where it doesn't require any special summoning, it is not seen much play. Oh, Card of Demise for 3. As you're saying, better than Pot of Greed.
Yep. It's a good one. And it's full value, being able to set all of his... Ooh, and he plays... How good is Macrocosmos against Blue Eyes Chaos Max?
I would say much above average.
Above average? On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you quantify it at?
Against Blue Eyes, I put it at like an 8, 9.
8? Against Chaos Form, does it go up or down?
That's basically his one chance to not lose to the Macrocosmos, unless his only way to summon it is an Ancestral Arch, which would require the monster to go to the graveyard, I believe. But yeah, Blue Eyes does require graveyard and all the graveyard effects, so the one Macrocosmos being activated will give him problems.
Yeah.
But since he doesn't know what his opponent is playing, I don't think it doesn't look like he's going to just flip it immediately during the draw phase or standby phase.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll get a chance to use his Dragon Shrine that's in his hand.
Yeah, but Dragon Shrine usually prompts a response, I would think, right?
Oh, then you would just chain chain the Macrocosmos, and then they would get banished.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Macrocosmos is going to be a big deal here, I'm sure. Probably game defining, actually, because he drew Dragon Shrine. But he's just going to snap it off during the draw phase. I can respect that. A lot of the times you're just going to be chaining it to the first thing or doing whatever anyway, so I'm sure there's certain situations, right, where it'd just be safer, like Trading, for example.
Melody of the Awakening Dragon, discarding Stone of the Ancients.
Yeah, it's just safer having it than not. And even though, you always want to try to get your opponent a little bit and make them do something and, snap off that trap card to stop them.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to be safe and do it during the draw phase.
We revealed a Blue Eyes Red Dragon, 2 special summon and a Blue Eyes alternative.
Yeah. Looks like there's a Drowning Mirror Force, or a Quaking Mirror Force set, maybe. So that might be the way that Hughes tries to deal with it. But it looks like he has another response. Lose one turn.
He's going to put that Blue Eyes alternative dragon in defense mode for the turn. And his effect will be negated. Yeah,
not too old. It was a pretty big format-defining card, right, during the whole Necros, Clifford, Shadal era.
It definitely was.
Yeah.
And since we don't have cards like Evil Storm Exciton Knight anymore, Exciton used to be the best way to deal with lose one turn because it would put it in defense mode, negate its effect for the turn, but on the following turn you'd be able to activate it still since it only lost 1 turn and not both.
Yeah.
But without that card, lose one turn is just as strong as Vanity's Emptiness in some cases.
We already see this Macrocosmos getting value. No search off of that White Stone if it hits the graveyard.
And even more important, the monster's not going to the graveyard, so that Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon's not coming back.
Yep.
No return of the Dragon Lords for him.
Dragon Lord will indeed not return.
He's going to synchro for it in attack mode, but the lose one turn is going to trigger and put it into defense mode.
Tried to make a decision there that didn't matter too much, but it's okay. Looks like we might see a Solemn Strike in response. Seems solid. There's no reason to leave a big monster out there like that, especially when you know.
He's Solemn Striking the summon.
Yeah.
So you take 15.
65.
His main reason probably was
Yes.
Yosenju's probably have a hard time without combo 1 and another Yosenju. Dealing with that 3,000 defense can be
Defense are negated.
rough for
a little rough.
Yosenju.
Yep, definitely a little rough.
Because they like to, peck down.
Yep. That deck's all about just little points of a little bit of damage here and there. Ooh, and Missile Space Typhoon.
Missile Space Typhoon.
Hits the Dragon Shrine, though. Not the best card, obviously, but...
Okay.
But he draws another card optimized off the top, so... Any chance Hughes had of running out cards. Not happening in this game. Duel's most likely going to be over before he gets to 0 cards, so...
Yeah, if Roger can't find an out to this Macrocosmos, it will be ended very quickly.
Plus 1,000 to its.
Oh, he's going to boost. I'm pretty sure that boosts him by 1,000 attack points.
Yeah.
So he can attack for 2,000.
That's 36.
15, I believe.
How do you feel about the main phase 2 card demise versus the main phase 1 card demise?
Card Demise prevents you from doing any more damage to your opponent for the end of the next turn. So he gets the damage in, and he's still able to activate Card Demise while still doing the damage. So it was good idea there. I've seen duelists losing the top cut of YCSs in the past because they looked over that fact.
As
and
have I,
they were excited to play the card and draw cards.
Yeah. Usually you want to be playing all the things that would get you more cards before just so you can make more decisions. But yeah, Card Demise is not that kind of card. Definitely a small pitfall that maybe some less
an easily overlooked line.
Yeah, trade in. Yeah, not the worst thing. Even though both cards get banished, it just means 2 fresh cards. Gonna have to read lose 1 turn. Let's see if we can bring up lose 1 turn.
Oh, you want me to bring up?
Yep. Show card.
Show card. Let's
Boom.
see. Lose 1 turn.
Yep.
This card was very, very good for a long time, and it still is. It doesn't see much play, but...
Yeah, the original strategy they wanted to abuse it was Cliff Forts, right? Because they didn't really need to special summon much like Yosenju's did. Yosenju's were actually sort of a deck during that time, too. That was when we first saw them out of the Secret Forces, same as Necros. So.
Yeah, and they're still here.
Yeah. Got better, definitely, because of Card Demise.
Card Demise definitely helped any sort of strategy that focuses on setting a lot of back rows.
Yeah, and Drowning Mirror Force. They just got a lot of good cards since then. So.
They did.
It's good.
So you draw 1.
Great. It's also just a solid time to be playing trap decks right now. You got cards like Dimensional Barrier, Solemn Strike, all these really good trap cards. Anti-Spell is at, much higher point than it was maybe.
Yeah, but Anti-Spell, shutting down games from turn 1.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have, some cards that counteract it with Twin Twister.
Yeah, that was the big one.
Seka.
Yeah, Dango Seka Resurgence this turn, as you mentioned earlier in your tech update.
Well, he does play 2 Twin Twisters, but I'm pretty sure Ryan has a Dark Bribe set for his Macrocosmos.
Definitely. I think he's considering Dark Bribing this Melody, because it effectively deals with the alternative dragon that would come out otherwise.
And he only has 1 other card in hand.
Yeah.
So
and
even
it's
if he were
not
to draw
like
this
he's
Twin
trading.
Twister.
Yeah, he's not even necessarily trading down either, because even though the Dark Bribe will give Flores a card, he had to discard a card to use the Melody. So, not the worst trade. He seems pretty tempted here. He was just really considering. My opponent was locked out until now.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next trap card. There was the Dark Bribe.
Yep, Macrocosmos, big one.
I think this is a good Dark Bribe because he's drawing the 2 cards in hand. So even if he was to draw the Twin Twister that he was saving the Dark Bribe for, his opponent would have no cards. So might as well Dark Bribe the card that's going to allow him to special summon
I think
at 3,000.
he should seal the deal here, right? 3 monsters, definitely more than 4,400 points worth of damage.
I would believe so.
Yep. Tanky also, especially in All-Star in this deck, bumping everything up by 100. That's a big deal. Every single Tanky adds up so much.
Especially when your monsters are so weak and you rely on each
damage,
attack.
Yeah, this is really just a different style of deck than we see a lot of, just really relying on just small points of damage and doing this cool, interesting axe attack. Yep.
Axe attack. Well, this was an ideal game for the Yosenju player, and he was able to take down game 1. Got to go first and had Card Demise and among many other things.
Yeah, so in that situation in the end there, Hughes has Drowning Mirror Force set and Dark Bribe. When your opponent activates Melody, do you think you Dark Bribe that, or do you think you let him try to summon an alternative, maybe make an attack and drowning it instead, just to save the Dark Bribe?
I agree with the Dark Bribe because if the one other card, either way, it's like kind of a win-win situation.
Yeah.
But by Dark Bribing the card, leaves him with 2 cards. The only card he would be worried about really is Twin to get him back in the game, but he's so low on cards it won't matter.
Yep.
But yeah, the alternative being special summon, lose 1 turn, putting in defense mode. If he doesn't ever active, he tries to sit on that alternative, and for some reason Ryan can't use combo 1 to bounce the blue eyes back to his hand.
It just didn't seem like the alternative was doing much because of lose 1 turn. And then in addition to that, even if it ever really did do something, the Dragon Mirror Force sort of covers his bases. But
exactly, he was completely covered either way.
I think that's an important thing, though. Maybe Hughes just identified where he needed to sort of like turn the corner, like make sure, try to get the duel done with. Because that's a very important thing with you.
Time is a factor in every match at a YCS. So finding the fastest and most direct route is usually a pretty good thing.
Yeah. I agree with what you're saying, but I think I meant more so that like Yosenju needs to value damage so much that at any point they can close out a game, they need to try to do it. You know what I mean? Like they're not trying to play a long grind game, even though it seems like they would with all their trap cards. They're actually just trying to like end the game as soon as possible.
Yep. Because the longer they have, the longer their opponent has to draw an out to what card. Their lose 1 turn, their macrocosmos.
Exactly. Yes.
Let's see what these guys could be side decking. Let's see.
Let's take a look at Flores' first. So,
well, we don't have too much here that is, I don't think is going to help him very much in the Yosenju matchup. Not a lot of.
I would say just a single card. A single Phoenix Moonblast. Yep, just a flexible card that could maybe deal with a hateful trap card. Not even the 3rd Twin Twister in a side deck, so it's real rough against trap decks.
Yeah, this is going to be Torrential Tribute is also actually a pretty good one, so I can see them putting both in.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, just on the last summon, just get them for 3.
Yep,
I like that. And also, no one's really playing around Torrential Tribute anymore, so that's a big deal. Let's look at the Yosenju side deck. We got some Kaijus.
Going second, I expect those to be going in.
Raigeki, Necro Valley, anything?
Raigeki would probably going in. I could see the Kaijus, Raigeki.
Light Imprisoning Mirror, that's probably going in, right? Where else would you bring in other against your Blue Eyes opponent? I
haven't seen it used in a while, but Light Imprisoning Mirror can be really good. We'll see if he chooses to decide going first or second. I would put it in either way.
Anti-Spell, do you think that's a maybe?
I could see, Anti-Spell is actually just not that good against Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
But, so I could see maybe siding in when he goes first. But
if you see the Chaos Max cards, do you consider pushing it in?
I would much highly, because that would turn off the Manjus,
He definitely saw at least some, right? That I think he discarded
at least
Melody,
from discarding, So, the anti-spells could definitely go in.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I think this is probably a pretty good matchup for Hughes. His trap-heavy deck is just so good at what
going second
is trying to do.
Yeah, going second is going to be hard.
That could be true.
But the Drowning Mirror Forces are a very good out to the Blue Eyes Chaos Max when normally Yosenju would struggle with it a lot.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Roger's able to figure out that he cannot attack directly or have that monster in attack mode when attacking directly into a Drowning Mirror Force. But
how does Hughes beat a defense mode Chaos Max?
Chaos Max actually has zero defense, so he attacks over.
Very easily defeated.
But if that Chaos Max has a couple of Return of the Dragon Lords in the grave to protect it from battle, I can see
take a lot of them against Yosenju's though, right? Because they just have so many attackers when they're trying to attack.
Exactly. Well, we're getting the hands all situated right now. I can already see Roger's hand, and it looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to see a Blue Eyes Chaos Max coming down. I see a Manju and the Chaos Max and a Melody. Melody the Winged Dragon can actually search for Blue Eyes Chaos Max.
Nice. I didn't even realize that.
So.
Oh, yeah, because it's Blue Eyes stats are stronger?
I think so, yeah. It has
cool.
2,500 more attack.
Yeah, so Melody's real good in this deck. You're getting combo pieces, too. That's super cool.
Thank you.
Advanced Ritual Art. This card has been one of the best ritual spells for quite some time now in Yu-Gi-Oh! It has seen some time on the restricted list at 1, but now I think we're back to 3 copies.
Yep.
But it lets you use a ritual from your deck to summon a ritual monster from your hand. So he was able to tribute the Blue Eyes White Dragon from his deck, which is very good because he's able to bring it back with the Turn of the Dragon Lords. The Melody will allow him to special summon an alternative, so his field is going to be
definitely a strong hand, We'll see playing Radiance, he could also make a Hope Harbinger if he really wanted to or something. I don't know how good a Hope Harbinger is against Yosenju, though.
Yeah, well, it looks like Roger's more so focused only on the Blue Eyes cards. A lot of his extra deck is just Blue Eyes.
Well, there's a Hope Harbinger right at the end, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was more so looking for Alcei.
That makes sense,
because Alcei is actually really good against Yosenju's because it allows you to put a trap card on top of the deck. If you excavate and call the card wrong, you're able to just basically skip their next turn, essentially. Gives it like a time seal sort of effect, which is a forbidden card.
I was talking to Drum earlier about how the newer fusion and ritual cards are designed in such a way that like they sort of allow you to skip some of the pieces you would need, right? Because fusion cards inherently usually need a fusion spell, 2 fusion materials, or with ritual monsters you need a ritual spell, a ritual monster, and the ritual material, right? But with cards like Advanced Ritual Art, you kind of skip one of those steps where all you need is that Advanced Ritual Art and the ritual monster, not needing the material in your hand. And that's one reason why we've seen Advanced Ritual Art just be so powerful throughout the years.
Yep. I completely agree. Yep. The original rituals, if you were to ritual summon any monster, you'd have to use pretty much your entire hand just to summon that one monster.
Yep,
so finding ways.
Cards. And anytime you can find ways to sort of just make your card worth a little more, right? Make it go the extra mile. Now considering a rank 8.
Yeah, the only rank I could see him making would be a Galaxy Eyes into a Dark Matter Dragon to send 3 different dragons from his deck to the graveyard.
With Whitestone of Ancients, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
but it looks like he
Legend.
chose Hope Harbinger ultimately.
Yep.
Maybe worried about possible ways that Hughes could deal with the Chaos Max.
Yeah, Hope Harbinger is normally a good card. It will be able to negate
not that
card
best.
Demise. Yeah, the card, being able to sub card Demise will be good, but
easily being bounced by Yosenju just makes it so much weaker.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what Yosenju can do going second. That's the problem with a lot of trap-heavy decks is when they go second.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder for them to get started because they don't have the monsters that can be special summoned to deal with whatever they're facing down, like all the other
That's very
decks.
true. But that's why I feel like we've seen a lot of, like, Mirror Force sort of balances that, right? We've seen, like, Drowning Mirror Force, Storming Mirror Force, Quaking Mirror Force. All these Mirror Forces sort of let these trap decks, like, buy back into the game where they might have been out of just because they went second.
Oh, here we go with the Yosenjus. We have 2 and 3. Which, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure is not the one that will bounce a monster.
Nope, but it looks like we're just going to see a Utopia Lightning come down and try to take out that Chaos Max.
Utopia Lightning is a good out. Yeah. Doesn't let any other card effects be activated, so I'm pretty sure he won't even be able to use Hope Harbinger's effect to redirect the attack towards him.
Nice.
And Utopia Lightning is one of the greatest rank 4s to see in the game.
Yeah, well, believe it or not a rank 4.
He's not a rank 4.
Effectively a rank 4, right? I'm just being choosy with words, but yeah. Utopia Lightning on another level. So he goes both Yosenjus on top of each other for number 39 Utopia into number S39 Prime, and then number S39 Lightning. Oh, chooses to attack. That's interesting. Chooses to attack Hope Harbinger.
Well, maybe he doesn't realize that the effect will still be stopped, or... Oh, since he has the S Prime, he'll have the 2 materials, so he's assuming that by killing the Hope Harbinger... No, I can't think of why attacking the Hope Harbinger over the Chaos Max.
Next turn, can't the Chaos Max just... Oh, it's because of Return of the Dragon Lords.
It'll protect it, so it didn't make a difference.
Yeah, because it's a replacement, right, and not an actual effect activation. Regardless, he just can't deal with Chaos Max.
Yep, it'll still prevent it, despite card effects not being able to activate it.
Yeah. Can't even use that card Demise. It's gonna have to wait a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about this? Do you think that just trying to burn through as many Return of the Dragon Lords is the best way to go about this, or do you think that trying to dig for something like Drowning Mirror Force might have been the better route?
It's tough to say, but I would almost prefer like not attacking there with Lightning, just leaving it with all the materials, because now it just forces out one more attack. Like he could just attack with Hope Harbinger here, and if he does the effect, he'll still have to deal with follow.
Lightning is whenever it attacks or is attacked?
Yep.
Yeah, we don't see much of the other half of that, right? It's only usually attacking.
Exactly. Yeah, because you have to play that extra material to be able to detach the 2.
Yeah. It's translation right there.
Ready to go.
Yep. I like it. I've seen a lot of handwritten translations today in the Future Match area. One duelist had a full journal.
Well, if you're going to use them foreign cards, it requires the translations.
Yep. Gotta make sure everyone is on an even playing field at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship.
I'm a fan of using English cards in an English tournament because, like as we're seeing right here, this will take up a few seconds.
Yeah, anytime you can save seconds is big, especially at a higher level, because you just want as much time to actually play the game as possible in order to be your opponent. You try not to have things decided by time and a match procedures.
You want to rely on your skill and your dueling spirit.
Yep. It would be very unfortunate to lose a game just because you were using foreign cards and had to take some extra time with translations.
Oh, here we go with the Hope, like I was saying, the Hope Harbinger attack, because he would prefer the Chaos Max.
You're 4,000.
Now, does he stay pumped until the end of the turn?
No, I believe it's just for that battle. We have him pulled up right here. I believe it's just for that battle, but I guess he just doesn't want to attack with his monster. He's just scared of what could be happen. Yeah, it's
Possibly. I think it just could have been a small misstep.
Or maybe he does think that the lightning stay.
Because a lot of those effects are like that, you know what I mean, where they stay strong until the end of the turn. Let's see, Torrential Tribute, lose one turn, and Yosenju Sujik off the top of Duality.
Still not the combo one. Oh, the combo one won't do anything to the Chaos Max. But
yeah. See, I just missed this interesting dynamic where Duality, where both players get to assess the value of each card and then make reads based on that. I'm happy to see it.
It is a lost art.
Yes.
Orion's finding a way to
bring him back. Just the consistency that card adds. And it's also just goes so well alongside Card Demise, right? Because Card Demise is such a big payoff card.
Also,
just want ways to dig. Yep. So the more ways you can find your best cards, the better. That's why we see so many decks include things like Upstart Goblin, right? Poly Duality sort of just provides you with that additional level of card selection, but it's just not every deck can really pay off the same way that other decks can. But Yosenju, as we mentioned before, really good Duality and Card Demise deck.
Indeed. Let's see. He grabbed.
Looks like Yosenju Sujik.
Sujik?
Yep. And then.
Now he's activating Desires, hoping. I would assume he's hoping for a Card of Demise and another Yosenju to summon.
Looks like lose one turn and Dark Bribe is what he got instead.
Couple traps. That will be helpful, but if he doesn't have the Drowning Mirror Force, this Chaos Max is going to be end things very quickly.
Yeah, probably forced to normal summon the Yosenju Sujik, right? Because if he sets it, then he's getting double damaged by the Chaos Max. But he still just doesn't want to lose it out to, discarding during the... Oh, no, he hasn't activated Card Demise, right? So you can just hold it. Yeah. Never mind. I thought he'd be forced to, set his cards and summon his monster, but even though he has 3 cards in his hand, they came off of other things than Card of Demise.
It was a Duality and a Desire, so he did draw 3 cards. But, yeah, even at that point, I would probably sacrifice just discarding my monster, because setting a monster against Chaos Max...
You don't think that's better than just normal summoning?
Or normal summoning, yeah, we just normal... But the problem with the normal summoning is that going back to your hand...
Sujik did. Does Sujik return to your hand?
I see what you're saying, if he carded Demise, yeah. Oh, looks like Manju's going to go down for 1,100 points of damage.
Yeah.
29.
Any deck that uses rituals, I'm pretty sure you'd want to include Manju in them. He's one of the best ritual searching cards.
Yeah, being able to search either piece, monster or spell. Very unique.
Yeah, he has a lot of hands. Oh, a Dragon Spirit will lie at the top. Not a good one to draw. I see as an effect the other in his hand.
Yeah, that's very important for later, possibly. We'll see what
Maybe
happens.
It'll stop...
it seems like the way that... it can't be affected by card effects, right?
The Chaos Max?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about if he has a Veiler for a Yosenju combo. Oh, yeah, against that particular one. I'm saying the only card that the effect Veiler can actually hinder in the Yosenju deck would be the Sujik or the combo one. Or they do have an extra deck. Very rarely, but if they are able to special summon and have 2 monsters on the field, Lightning Chidori does come down sometimes.
Yeah, but I feel like the only thing that can really answer this this Chaos Max now is probably going to be Quaking Mirror Force, unless...
Or Drowning.
My bad, Drowning Mirror Force, but Hughes does use number 82, Heartland Draco. I haven't seen that guy in a while. With Flores only at 2,900 life points, we could see just a series of turns where, direct attack with Heartland Draco, and he has an ability, right, if you have a face-up continuous spell.
He can't be destroyed, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, well, let's bring it up.
Let's go to Lucy Heartland Draco and see if this guy might...
a surprising number of continuous spells in Yosenju just because of Tenki. So anytime, they find a Tenki, it's pretty easy to make the Heartland Draco and then go from there. So yeah, it's surprising how well this Xyz monster fits in the Yosenju strategy.
15. If he's somehow able to make this guy...
It can't be targeted by attacks, So if he can find a Tenki, that's what he really wants.
Tenki would be very good.
Yeah, Tenki unlocks his hand, lets him search a Yosenju so he can summon the Sujik, make a Heartland Draco, Kraken for 2,000.
He's going to need it right... Oh, there's one.
Well, he had the Sujik already.
Yeah, he needed to draw a monster, just what he needed.
Well, yeah, but he needs the spell, right, to make sure the Heartland Draco just doesn't get run over the next turn. Yeah, because even though it's 2,000, still 2,900 is what he's looking for.
Yeah, and if none of his traps would be able to protect it, then it would be unfortunate. Let's see if it would be good if he had another copy of Utopia the Lightning.
Yeah.
But that is the main rank 4 out to deal with this.
Gaga Cowboy is shy of... Oh, they can't even target the Chaos Max, so that doesn't work.
But he can boost his attack all the way to 3,300, so if he was able to get the Gaga Cowboy just a little bit stronger, maybe he'd be able to take him down. Oh, he's looking at the Heartland Draco that we were just talking about.
Yeah, realizing it's probably a possible out if he finds a Tenki. But then he went straight to the Brotherhood of the Firefist Tiger King as a way to find the Tenki. I like that.
Yeah, if he's able to make the Tiger King and survive for this next turn.
And then draw a monster. He needs that part of the equation, too.
It's important when you're playing a game to figure out the way you can win that game.
Yeah.
The only way you can, and play to that condition as much as you can. So we'll see if that's...
Yeah, Hughes looks like he's sort of found it. He's thumbing through those exact 2 cards. Reading, clarifying, I think he realizes that this is... If there's a way to win, it is here. He just needs to get a little lucky. Playing to your outs is huge, as you said before. And even though something's not guaranteed, if it's your best way to win, you better try to go for it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we do know
that
effect failure
completely breaks apart the plan. Yeah, even if he would have won the Tiger King, that effect failure.
The effect failure was going to come in handy. And
where's Macrocosmos when you need it?
If anything,
he's lucky. He got really sealed the deal. Albeit, if it really mattered, Hughes would just dark bribe it, but it's a lot of damage.
Yeah. I would be surprised if Ryan Hughes makes it through this turn. Seeing how just the attack over the Yosenju, I'm pretty sure would be enough to reduce his life points to 0.
How much attack does that Kama have?
Kama 1, I think he has 1,500, but it might actually be 1,600. There's Kama 2, right? Kama 2. Oh, 1,800. This is the big one. He has 1,800. So yeah, he'll take a little more. So that's not enough to.
And only 200, leaving with 300.
Well,
yeah, but not being able to set a monster just means that it's likely game over unless you can find Quaking or Drowning Mirror Force. Yeah.
And this is the problem. Normally when your opponent has one big monster and you're trying to stall out for time to get to what you need, you can just start setting monsters in defense mode to stay alive, but the Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon presents a problem with that strategy.
Definitely.
Well, looking over his options again.
Yeah, just making sure he's not missing anything, even though his initial game plan or the way that he, found to solve the situation wasn't able to attain it. Just wants to double check to make sure there's not anything else he could have possibly missed.
Very good.
Yep.
Yeah, just see a bunch of lose one turn. Yeah,
yep, looks like he concedes. Yep, realizes writing on the wall with Chaos Max.
He's probably excited to go first to start this game too.
Yeah, going first is exactly where you want to be with a whopping 17 traps in your deck.
Yeah, you can imagine these light mirrors, the anti-spells.
Yeah, just anything he can.
These are all going in.
Yeah, we'll see if we can watch him thumb anything. Anti-spell immediately down. Light Premier immediately down.
They're all coming in.
What else? Greater Horn of Heaven?
Yeah, he main decks the Grand Horn of Heaven.
Grand Horn of Heaven.
Which is really good against Pendulum decks. And it's not that bad against Blue Eyes, I suppose. Skips their main phase.
Well, he also brought in Raigeki. That was a possible
Going
out.
second?
Yeah. He's taking it out now, yeah, but he had brought it in.
Okay. Well, Roger's really going to need to see one of his 2 copies of Twin Twisters or both copies of Twin Twisters if he has a chance this game.
Yeah, Slimming on Twin Twister and your full 55, even the side deck, probably not the best decision, but, in a combo strategy, you want as many cards, to actually help you with your game plan as possible. But yeah, Flores has definitely made a couple interesting decisions with his deck, but
Keep it up.
We'll see how it goes.
And they're set. I've been having a great time all day being out on the field. Checking out what's going on.
What's the coolest thing you've seen so far? What deck?
I've seen Metal Foe decks with Swamp Frogs in them just to make totally awesome. There's been lots of stuff. I've seen Wing Dragon Raw Sphere Mode summoned and get Ignister back in the deck, so they got OTK'd after summoning the Ignister.
Oh, man.
Yep. There's been some crazy stuff going on out today. Everyone's trying something a little weird, and they want to get that edge so they have that chance to win it all.
Yeah, Jerome was talking about it earlier. The key things, these tech, right? Tech can just define your whole entire tournament. If you're just one level higher than your opponent in terms of some key decision, especially with card selection.
Yep, it is very important now.
Yep.
Shuffle, shuffle. Give it a solid cut.
I'll go first.
All right, looks like game 3 is underway.
Yep, we assume Hughes is going first.
I would assume.
Yep.
All
Two
right.
copies of Lose One Turn, along with 2 Yosenjus and a Pod Duelli, hoping that Pod Duelli gets him to either Card of Demise or Pot of Desires, just find more cards, find more powerful traps.
Yeah, definitely. This is, so far, yeah, his hand is not what he desires, but the Card of Demise could really... Oh, is that a copy of Twin Twister I see?
That's interesting.
No, it's
Is that
Chaos Max.
Floodgate Trap Hole?
That's a treacherous trap hole.
That's a treacherous trap hole. Ah.
Because he made like 0 trap cards, but
Yeah.
does side into the treacherous. It's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
But the treacherous kit will really come in handy.
Yeah,
against
it seems great
Yosenjus.
against Yosenjus. Yeah, just
They only
knocking off 2 monsters.
Yeah, they can have all the trap cards in the world, but they don't need monsters to,
They
to
have a
attack
very
you
low
with.
monster count, so that's good. But there's one Yosenju that can recruit more, right, when he deals battle damage, I believe.
Yep.
Is that
indeed.
comma 3? 2?
It's comma 3, 2. I'll pull it up. Let's take a look. Oh, he dualitied and got Yosenju comma 1, so he has 1, 2, and 3, I believe, in his hand. I believe it's Yosenju comma 3. We were discussing.
Set 2. Go ahead.
So, not a great start
Nope.
for Yosenju's,
Yeah,
but
Flores' hand. Injured Tradent, so that means that Blue Eyes can just go down 2 fresh cards.
yep. Ryan is really counting on these lose one turns to get him there. Unfortunately, having 2 is just the same as having 1.
Yep.
Unless
Can't make him lose 2 turns, unfortunately.
trade in.
Nope.
Manju and a
That's a
Return
big
of the
one.
Dragon Lords.
Definitely a big one.
Things are shining.
Lose One Turn, not the most powerful card against normal monsters. So, right, it only works when a effect monster is special summoned.
Yep.
Not a normal monster being special summoned, correct? Yep. So
Correct.
Return of the Dragon Lord, just 3,000 attack, probably good enough right here.
The Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah.
Is
The only issue is that if it's bounced back, then you can't return it again. But showing his opponent that there's a Phoenix Wind Blast in his deck. Maybe not the.
yeah. When you set your
most
deck down, you want to try and
intelligent
keep it face down. Usually, not give a free
just
information.
conserve
away.
information. We've been talking about a lot about concealing information today in terms of even things like, knowing when to concede or summoning a Lila when you know you're going to lose just to break a set card that you maybe didn't know what it was, just to get that little piece of extra information. Turning your deck phase up, probably not the best way, even though, you get sort of in the lax duel mode.
Yep. Because especially just for now, for the rest of this game, since he saw that, if his opponent sets a back row, you might think, he definitely plays Phoenix Wind Blast.
Yep.
The little things do add up and matter.
Yep.
Okay, we have Chaos Form coming down.
Nice.
He's going to try and ritual summon
From your hand.
by banishing his Blue Eyes White Dragon from the graveyard to summon Blue Eyes Chaos Max. And he's probably going to be greeted with a lose 1 turn. That will put it into defense mode. So now that since he chose to do this, instead of just bringing back the Blue Eyes and playing beat down around the lose 1 turn, maybe this will be what Yosenju Ryan needed.
Yeah. It's treacherous. Yeah, no, having 3 Yosenjus means that treacherous won't even do as much as you want it to either. So, unfortunate. And a third lose 1 turn.
Just in case he
Deals
needed
with the first
another
2.
one.
Yep. Okay, single Yosenju, second Yosenju. Right here, he's going to try to respond with treacherous, but that won't stop him from using that effect to get a third Yosenju.
Does this rule out first?
Yeah. No, so this activates upon summon and he responds. Yeah. So
And they're just
resolve the chain.
Yep. But still gets that last Yosenju down.
He needed that monster
Yep,
summon.
just deal with the Chaos Max. Without Return of the Dragon Lords of the Graveyard, also very weak. And perhaps not the best sequencing here. Sometimes when you build your deck around a specific boss monster, you really want to get it out because that's how you're going to win. But, sometimes just insurance policies like Return of the Dragon Lords need to set up.
Be able to make the
Might be
read
better.
that.
Yep, and then look, he drew the Phoenix Wind Blast.
Oh, well, so.
Yep.
We'll see if this information comes back to. Things are actually turning around for our Yosenju player because he ends up trying to Wing Blast, they'll lose 1 turn, so he can special summon his monsters and gain their effects. So we know he has a couple more ready for him.
Indeed. This Phoenix Wind Blast is going to be pretty good though, right? Because he gets to discard the Whitestone of Ancients.
Yep, and then he'll be able to special summon the Blue Eyes from his deck during his opponent's end phase.
Sorry, 14.
Ryan is living from draw to draw, basically, hoping for a good card with everyone.
Of Tanky, that's a real good one.
another monster.
Yep, but it's also a very good wing blast target, right? Something that you can just make sure to delay. Might be worthwhile knowing your opponent's only card.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
If I change temperature, it won't activate me.
Yeah.
If you change the fuse wing blast here, it could set him back far enough to where
It doesn't matter what you're changing.
he might be able to seal the game.
Yeah. You could also let the Tenki go, right? You let the Tenki go because he's just going to search Yosenju and you just Phoenix Wing Blast that Yosenju instead. So you limit your opponent from changing like their decision on what card they might want to search with Tenki. But at the same time, it also makes it so if you draw a card like Twin Twister, it gets much worse because you can't just respond to the Tenki they just drew and
You
activated.
basically gave them the monster for free.
So do you think you'd Wing Blast the Tenki, or do you think you'd wait until they summon the monster?
If I was going to commit to wing blasting the monster, I would just go and decide to wing blast the Tiki because he knows the Yosenju that's inside.
Do you think it's better just to Wing Blast the back row and let him get the monster because losing your Manju isn't the biggest deal? The thing that I would fear is that letting him get the Yosenju that can add more monsters when it deals damage just means that my clock is running out. So I feel like you need to defend against that threat.
Yep.
Yep, I agree.
Looks like that Phoenix Wing Blast is going to come down. Yep, Flores agrees as well.
So this is
Discarding that Whitestone Ancients, taking right to the top of the deck.
So he only has
Single
the
Yosenju is going to come down.
Kama 1.
Yep.
He's just a little bit bigger than Manju.
78.
Now this white stone of the ancients is going to be paying dividends.
Yep.
Yep. That's negated.
Yeah, effects negated.
Goes to defense mode, but
It can be switched back during your own turn, yeah?
only for one turn. Let's see what Roger can draw here. A Blue Eyes Chaos Max.
Yep, unfortunate. Not really what he wants here. The Return the Dragon Lords can't special summon the Blue Eyes Chaos Max from the graveyard, correct?
I don't believe Blue Eyes Chaos Max can be summoned, special summoned in any other ways
than
besides.
ritual?
Yep. Nope. Chooses to sit
Stand by face.
on this Dragon Spirit of White defense mode. Maybe he's either playing around Drowning Mirror Force or
Maybe perhaps doesn't realize necessarily how to lose one turn.
doesn't realize that it has the ability to turn back, because summoning you during your opponent's end phase and then starting your turn, it's
Yeah,
kind of like the same
you get a little mixed up. Yep.
And it happens to the best of us.
Yep.
The biggest thing about making mistakes in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is being able to realize when you've done them and learn from them and grow from them.
Yep.
If you constantly make excuses and stuff, you're not going to grow as a player at all.
That's very true. Also, even when you do make a mistake, being able to collect yourself and keep playing, not tilting, that's very important.
It is
Very true in any competitive game, but especially in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Because chances are something's going to happen in the game that's going to make you upset.
My target.
Oh, let's see what.
No copies of Return in the graveyard.
Looks like this Dragon Spirit White's getting bounced.
Yep. That's a bad one.
Yeah, now wing blasting the Tinky, letting him choose which one to search. In this case, is coming back to backfire because he was able to search his deck for a comma 1, which is to return the Dragon Spirit of White to the hand.
He had the comma 1, right? He
I
searched
think
for
he had
comma 3.
2.
I think he had comma 1.
Okay, well.
Yeah. Comma 1's the one that just attacked, the one that's further
Comma
up.
1's this
one
one
up.
closest to the graveyard.
Oh, then never mind. He didn't have the comma 1.
Oh, no, never mind. I don't get the names wrong. That's comma 3.
Okay, comma 3 is the one who searches, correct? I think.
Yep, comma 3 is the searcher, and then that's the one he got.
Okay, yeah.
He already had the comma 1.
So 45. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that was fine.
Well, see, he's turning this opening hand that was not so good into.
Yeah, didn't even have to use 2 of the cards.
16.
I'm on 45.
45.
Yeah.
Yeah, even drawing him. So you draw 3 copies to lose 1 turn here in this situation, and you know that they're not doing anything face down, but the fact that your opponent doesn't know what they are, they're still sort of doing something by striking fear into your opponent.
Yes. Big aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh! Bluffing with your face-down cards, or just the impact that a face-down card can have.
Oh,
Belly of the
definitely.
Awakening Dragon, that's a good one, right? Unlock a little bit of his hand with those Return the Dragon Lords.
It'll let him discard the Dragon Spirit of White from his hand.
Yeah, so he can use a return, and then he also gets an alternative into play. And while, they will be switched to defense mode because of the lose 1 turn, and he can't really do too much, at least he's doing something.
Yeah, and the combo 1 can only bounce it can only bounce 1 monster, so if you're able to special summon multiple monsters, you'll be able to start having an offensive. And returning Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon to the hand isn't the most glorious thing in the world.
You would definitely want to find an alternative line to doing that.
He adds a Blue Eyes White Dragon and a Blue Eyes alternative. Lord of D strummed his guitar and called upon his dragons.
Yep.
Don't call me a mind reader, but I have a feeling he's going to reveal a Blue Eyes White Dragon to special summon the Blue Eyes alternative from his
I can
hand.
agree with that. I actually think he's supposed to use return first, though. Make sure that return's in the graveyard. But yeah, no, he's definitely likely to do those things. I just hope he realizes to use the return first, just in case something crazy happens. But I don't think it'll matter. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that can happen.
Both these players do have a copy of Torrential Tribute either in their main or side deck, so
yeah,
those kind of cards that don't usually matter actually are very relevant.
Real big here.
That's something I love about Yu-Gi-Oh! There can be cards that don't see play for a long time, so you don't really think about them, and then another player will use them and will actually be very successful with them. Just because it's been so long since we've seen them.
We're going to count till the die goes up to 6. So we're starting at 1.
Looks like
time has been called.
So
on the round.
Time is called, so we have turn 0. He's activating the Dragon Lords, just like Robbie hoped he would.
Yep.
Special summoning back Dragon Spirit of White. Yeah, its effect will trigger, but it will be negated by lose 1 turn. Here comes the reveal.
Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon coming down.
Go ahead and put it in defense mode because that's where it's going. See if he decides to overlay for a rank 8 here. Or if he wants to just sit on his 2 monsters. Both are fine plays, I think. As long as the rank 8 he makes.
I think it might be better to sit on the monsters here, right? Because why is there a reason to make it the rank 8? Isn't it just going to be bounced away by the comma?
Yeah, it would be bounced away by the comma, but it would be. I guess the comma's the main reason not to make the rank 8, but if you make the rank 8, you send down Whitestone of the Ancients, the Whitestone of. I would have to look at his graveyard.
You send them down. What about lose 1 turn?
Huh?
Does lose 1 turn not stop?
It's a cost. Dark Matter Dragon is a cost in 3 different dragons.
Gets around lose 1 turn.
So he would be able to fill stuff graveyard for Return of the Dragon Lords and add stuff back.
Very, very important. I can agree with that.
But I would also agree with sitting on the monsters in defense mode for sure, because he can only bounce so many. You have a return to protect it. The lose 1 turn is going to prevent him from overlaying for anything that would deal with it. And now they're in time, so with their life points being so close, he wants to just get that 1 attack in and try and take the lead and sit on it.
It may be with just
coming down to
lose 1 turns. Did we see what Hughes drew for turn? Does it possibly say that? Oh, Hughes drew the Drowning Mirror Force for turn.
Oh, and he has the life point lead. Drawing Drowning Mirror Force with a life point lead
is a big deal here.
It might seal this game.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Unless Roger could top deck that Twin Twister. Or find a way to special summon Dragon Spirit of White, and if his opponent has monsters, can use his effect to tribute himself to special summon a Blue Eyes from their hand, so it will no longer be on the field to be negated by lose 1 turn and still be able to banish a spell or trap card.
Looks like there's going to be an attack from the Yosenju.
I think he might have said attack on accident.
Or it will.
150, I'll take care.
35-50.
Interesting.
This 1,200 points of damage would make all the difference if he's forced to attack this Blue Eyes in defense mode.
Oh, no, he can attack directly with his Yosenju.
He has his attack and attack directly. That's right.
And now I'll trigger the other one so he can still search his deck for another Yosenju.
So he's just, getting his lead to be a little even further.
Another big reason why this deck is so good at closing out games with fast damage. You can have little guys that attack directly, even though it's halved. Sometimes you just need that little bit. Cards like Heartland Draco coming in. We saw double Gaga Cowboy in his extra deck.
He knows what his deck
really, It's very well built for what he's trying to do. I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, my favorite thing is watching duelists who are very experienced with, maybe a deck we don't see a lot of, because we know their deck, even though, it might not be ABC, might not be Melphos, we know that their Yosenju deck is going to be built very well.
It is, tried and true.
Yeah.
They know it in and out.
I mean, have you had any success with decks like that in the past at the YCS level? Anything that, maybe probably wasn't the best deck to play, but do you think you normally just stick with? Like, for example, I can name a few I think I have that, probably not the best strategy to do, but I've maybe gotten a few wins that I shouldn't have just because I had more reps.
Exactly. You were the best with that deck in particular.
Yeah.
It's definitely happened to me in the past as well. Oh, we have Harpy's Phantasmal Dragon. Let's bring this card up. Show you.
Yeah, it's a cool one.
Wait, would that be negated?
Yep, there it is.
He takes 3 of the wins. See, this effect can only be applied. Okay, attack directly. Another attack directly.
Yep, very important for what this deck's trying to do.
Oh, and it can't be targeted for attacks. So he's sitting on it as a wall, and also going to be
So it can't be targeted for attacks. Does that mean that 4 just can't attack directly? Yep.
Can't attack at all unless he hits some other monsters. It seems like his deck is very well prepared for this strategy.
Yeah, it seems like, especially when things go to turns, Yosenju definitely has an advantage, right? Because it just has a lot of ways to deal burn, a lot of ways to sort of just, bite back. A lot of defensive cards that are pretty good in this situation. Lose 1 turn, obviously a huge one. All the Mirror Force cards.
Yeah, it is not looking good for Roger.
Dark Bribe, even giving your opponent an extra card, doesn't necessarily matter if
they can't play it.
Yep, exactly.
Well, this is a great example of how a deck that a lot of people have written off can be used in the format, as long as it's piloted correctly and has its goal.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
surprised that we're seeing, no copies of cards like Anti-Spell or something in this deck. You know what I mean? Because it seems like, maybe that's a little a little better than Lose 1 Turn in some scenarios, but maybe Lose 1 Turn is actually just, not a lot of strategies are prepared for it anymore, just because there's no really good deck to use it in, but Yosenju is one of them.
Yep, definitely.
Yep.
Oh, he's not giving up without a fight, so let's see. This is Chaos Max. This Harpy's Pet Phantasmal Dragon is going to be putting in work.
Yes, quite a bit. Chaos Max hits the field, however, in defense position with 0 defense, as we have seen before. At this point, Lors can switch his. Oh no, it just can't be attacked, right? The Phantasmal Dragon,
or targeted, even. Yeah.
Very
no Harpy monster can be targeted with effects or attacks. And he can attack directly, so it'll prevent him from dying and possibly finish off the game. But
nice.
I expect to see him sitting on this guy until the end of turns.
Not many left at this rate either, with the duels now in time, so won't take too long. Phantasmal Dragon has just enough materials to last every turn of time.
Yeah, the best way to deal with that card is to run it out of materials so where its effect will no longer be applied.
Yep.
But when you have a limited amount of turns...
Best part is, Lose 1 Turn gives you a whole nother turn with Harpy's Phantasmal Dragon negating its effect, right? So you don't have to attach the first time?
Yep, that is what we're seeing here.
I saw Anti-Spell drawn for a second. I also forgot that you must just side deck the Anti-Spells. We even talked about it earlier.
Well, he's thinking, they both think a lot. You want to make sure you don't do anything that would cause you to lose, and he wants to make sure he's, tried everything he possibly could. Oh, going on the offensive.
I like it.
Yeah, if it can't be
with
targeted for
Force, there's not much that can go wrong. Like that's more so.
Yeah, and it not being able to be targeted for attacks. You might as well get the extra damage in there for some insurance.
No reason not to. You can also just summon this Yosenju and attack that Chaos Dragon, right? Chaos Max.
Yeah, I think he does actually have 2 copies of Return of the Dragon Lords in his graveyard.
You don't think it's worth just burning through one? Like no reason, right?
You just go back to the hand anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't really. You're not committing anything. Nothing crazy is happening.
After getting Valor in game 2, maybe he doesn't want to open himself up to leaving a guy on the field.
I like that.
I feel like he's in a position right now to where as long as he doesn't make a mistake.
Yes, I understand exactly what you're saying.
But we will see if something happens that we are not prepared for.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing...
Harpy's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Giving Blue Eyes a rough time.
Yeah. Does Heliopolis target when you use its effect?
It doesn't. No, it does not. Does he play Heliopolis? Yeah, Erratic Sun Dragon Lord.
Yeah, that could have been a possible way to deal with it, even though you'd have to make it live for a turn, you know what I mean? But then you contribute itself.
If he'd overlaid with it last turn, had it in defense mode to stay alive, and then maybe been able to Heliopolis that.
Way to buy back.
Well, if he still has another turn after this one, it's still not too late for that.
You're right. Because all he needs to do is just make the difference up, right? He doesn't even necessarily need to finish off the duel, so...
Yep.
We'll see. But he would also have to be lucky to hit that Drowning Mirror Force, right? But if he's been paying a lot of attention, right? There's 2 cards that just haven't been activated this whole duel, and maybe he just leaves those because he's really hoping they're nothing, just so he can deal with that one fresh back row, which is the Drowning Mirror Force.
Yep. You got to feel comfortable right now if you're Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Nope. Banishing the Ancients, you add back Chaos Max to his hand. So maybe we'll see another one. Check in to make sure you can. It's any Blue Eyes card.
Yep.
So Blue Eyes Chaos Max does work.
Yep. And then he has the Ritual spell in his hand at the ready thanks to Manju.
Yep. He's at least doing what his deck does.
Yep. Yeah, with Return of the Dragon Lords, he can also just protect the Heliopolis for a turn, right? Oh, but he doesn't even overlay for it.
Maybe doesn't see that the Heliopolis might be his only way to deal with that. Well, that's it. Darby's Phantasmal Dragon is going to seal the deal on this one in time. It was a good match. Got to see some cards we haven't got to see in a while.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of the Yosenjus. You know, they're definitely just an interesting strategy. You know, I mean, they're very, very unique. But that's something cool about, a lot of different archetypes in Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything's just very unique to what they do. Like Metal Foes, not a lot of cards do exactly what they're trying to do. But Yosenju's got this weird bouncing thing. I guess they're sort of like spirits, right?
They're basically very close, very similar to the spirits that we have in Yu-Gi-Oh! With being returned to the end phase. Yeah. But without the special summoning restrictions.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got a winner.
So yeah, that was a pretty cool match. I'm
glad I got to commentate that match. And,
yeah, no, it was fun. It was definitely fun.
See Yosenju's, maybe they're back on the rise. Card of Demise.
Yeah, I mean, any deck that can